Thank you for joining us for another episode of USATF's Journey Goes On podcast. I am your host, Erik Kynard Jr., and I have with me my co-host, the Wallace Spearmon Jr., and we have a very special guest with us, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most consistent on the runway, the women's triple jump in the last 10 years.
Hi. Hello. That's
like
me.
that intro?
No, it was good.
You didn't even let me say your name.
I'm
You
sorry.
just popped right back in.
You had a pause.
Because
You
you're
Oh, wait,
paused.
sing it though. Sing it though.
Ah,
Sing
yeah.
mine. Let me hear them.
No.
You're not going to bless the world with the. I just heard it a second ago, and
I
it
was
was
singing
actually.
Elvis.
Okay, well let me hear that then.
All right. Tori Franklin, how are you, Tori?
I'm good.
You're back. Well, right now you're not in America, but I guess you're back on this hemisphere.
For a little bit.
For a little bit. How's vacation been?
What do you mean
here in
back?
Punta
What do you
Cana?
mean? What does that mean?
We gonna get there.
For those that don't know.
You gonna
Okay.
learn. We gonna get
Slow
there.
down.
Yeah, slow down, man.
Sing it
How's
again.
Punta Cana been to you? You got your coconut water with you.
I got my coconut. It's good for your skin. Helps me glow.
Straight from the source. Yeah. How you feel?
I feel great. I've been here a little longer than y'all. I came out like 5 days before, so I've just been like
Soaking
in the
it all.
trees. Yep.
Yeah,
Soaking it
yeah.
all in.
So, is Chi-Town's finest? Do you consider? Do you claim? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
Southside.
That's where we are now. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cubs or white or socks?
Socks. I have to. Sorry.
Michigan State.
Yep. Go green.
You've been on the international scene for quite some time. First team was, you answer.
2017, London, right? World
Right.
champs.
World champs. All right. Next team was?
Next team was the indoor 2018 in Birmingham. And then
How'd that go?
Birmingham. It was good. I jumped the same. So that was the first time I jumped 14 meters. So I jumped 14:03 at my first outdoor, and then I jumped 14:03 again, my first indoor. So I was just like starting to build some consistency.
We were starting to become
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. That's where it started.
Yeah, exactly. Since then, we've had a little bit of a...
Yeah, it's been... But things happen. In there.
Your training situation has changed. You
Yep.
spent some time out in Chula Vista. At first, you were in Michigan, obviously.
Yep.
Alma mater, Michigan State University, training with your coach and collegiate coach there.
Yep.
Went out to the training center in Chula Vista, spent some time there, right?
Just a little.
Just a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And now you are one of the only for sure jumpers that I know of, international, national athletes.
Yeah.
So you do not train and spend the majority of your time in the United States actually preparing for the Olympics this year. You train abroad.
Yes.
In
Athens, Greece.
In Athens, Greece. Exactly.
Yep.
And you've been there in Athens how long?
Almost 3 years.
And your coach don't speak no English.
Barely.
How is that going?
We just like, he speaks track.
Yeah.
And I understand track pretty fluently. So we make it work. When I'm away from him and he has to text me what we're doing, it's literally like a puzzle that I have to try to understand because it's just, his spelling is terrible. But in person, he just has these very specific drills and I know and understand them. And it's actually been better for me because he can't over-explain anything. I have to feel what I'm doing wrong and how it feels when I do it right.
Right. Yeah. He gave you a lot of facial expressions, I'm sure.
Yes.
I don't even think in his language he's the most vocal person in the world.
Yeah.
So culturally, how does that work for you? Being, away from your family, intrinsically, one of the greatest motivating factors for athletes is the legacy of, like, family and representation of Chicago or, my home or where I'm from. A lot of times that motivation comes from being present in those environments or at least having access to those environments. You have employed a strategy of removing yourself completely from the environment of... essentially your greatest motivation of being, an Olympian and being an American, the patriotism, et cetera, and have been training abroad. How do you sustain, motivation for what it is that you're doing, knowing that, hey, I'm in Greece, this is a completely different culture, and my day-to-day doesn't look like,
Yeah. I think one, just knowing what the end goal is and knowing why I moved in the first place, because this is the second time I've lived overseas. I trained in Paris for about a year and some time. And that first time I moved was really difficult. Being away from everybody, not having the support system, not having people who understand me like organically was very difficult. And so after that, I moved back to the U.S. And it was during that period when I was like, I really enjoy being around my family and having my friends here and having all of this support. So when I moved to Greece, it was 100% like, this is what I have to do if I want to level up. Yeah. And I did like 3 months later. So that's what I just keep in my heart.
Now, how long? Oh no, I'm sorry, Wallace. I seen you raising the mic. How long are you going to triple jump? Because I know a little bit of who you are, a little bit about you. Not too much. I don't assume. But I know you do it because you're passionate about it, and you do it because you love to do it, and not necessarily because you have to or because you don't know what else you want to do. Yeah. So. How long do you feel like you're going to continue to, grow and become not only the woman that you are, but the athlete in the sport, or use the sport as a segue to, grow into who you're becoming?
That's a good question. I am kind of in the process of still figuring that out. I think I've put a lot of time and energy into track and field, and I do know that it's just a segue into the greater, more deeper, fulfilling work that I want to do within the Chicago community and within the Black community. So right now, it's kind of in the air. I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to leave that there.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Well, I wanted to touch on a few things as well. And so the first thing being, there are a lot of track and field athletes who literally can't do anything but run track. I mean, they were given God-given talent to run fast or jump high, and if you put them in any other sport, they look like a fish out of water. It has been demonstrated very clearly that you are a goddamn athlete. So as of right now, we had a little competition down here where we are in our retreat. There's a little obstacle course, and I don't care how you categorize yourself. If you go against her, you are taking the L. Talk to me about this athleticism, because even I was impressed yesterday. You showed that you can jump on the first little phase where you just skipped everybody.
Yep.
But have you always been athletic, like since you were a kid, or?
Yep. Always. Like in any type of jungle gym or playground or tree, I was climbing to the top, jumping off things, obstacle courses. Like that's my thing. I love obstacle courses. I'm always going to try to figure out how to be the most efficient going through it. And I want to challenge anybody who thinks that they're better, because they're not.
Yesterday, she comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, Wallace, hey, find out who the best is because I want to beat him." And in my head, I hadn't seen this before. I was like, all right. So I didn't really pay attention to the first run. I watched the second one and I was like, God dang. So a thrower went, tore him up. Sprinter went, tore him up. Middle distance, tore him up. I was like, well, you ended up 5-0, 6-0?
5-0.
Guys, random people. She had people clapping on the side. I was impressed.
Kids, police, ladies.
Don't matter.
She out there beating everybody.
Line them up.
Yep.
Line them up. I'm going to tear them up. I enjoyed that.
Listen, so basically, well, I won't say American Ninja Warrior because you only be in America that much. But,
World Ninja Warrior.
World Ninja Warrior. If there's a World Ninja Warrior challenge, Tori is up for the audition. Just give her a call. It might be your next calling to display some athleticism through obstacle course domination.
That'd be fun.
So I want to ask this too. Do you consider yourself a foodie?
Yes, but I feel like it's not your typical foodie since I am a vegetarian, so I like lots of fruits and vegetables, obviously. And then I'm also a cupcake connoisseur. So
What do you mean?
any type of cupcake in the U.S., I won't say any. I haven't tried them all. But I've tried a lot of cupcakes in the U.S. And a lot in the world, and I understand the complexities of a good cupcake.
Top 3 places or cupcakes you've ever...
Okay, there's one called Kara's Cupcakes in San Francisco, Magnolia Cupcakes in Chicago, and then there's this one place in Cyprus that has very delicious cupcakes.
So you talking
Yeah.
blueberry muffin, cupcake, red
What?
velvet,
First of all, you messed up right away because you said muffin.
or blueberry cupcake?
Muffins are there's no
There's
such.
no such thing as a muffin.
She just told you she
cupcake.
takes
I'm
this
fine, I'm
seriously.
fine, you take
Keep
it
playing
serious.
with her.
All right. I was just making sure you was as serious as you said.
Were you?
The
Okay.
Trying to slide
aficionado.
one in on
Yeah,
you.
cupcake aficionado over here. Excuse me, all right?
What makes a good cupcake?
Makes
Okay.
a good cupcake.
So first of all, if you're gonna try a cupcake place, you have to get a basic one. You know, like your standard testing one, which is always for me vanilla, and then you can get a flavor. Because if the vanilla is not good, it doesn't matter if they have good bacon cupcakes. Like, it doesn't matter. So first, obviously, the cake part needs to be moist. You don't want it to crumble. It needs to just melt in your mouth. The frosting has to be, it can't be overpowering the flavor of the cake. It has to be the right consistency, the right flavor. It can't be over sugary. And then if there's going to be little sprinkles, you have to decide, like, how crunchy do you want the sprinkles? Does that also melt in your mouth? Does it complement the cupcake?
Why's my mouth watering all of a
All
sudden?
right. So now, this is subcategories of cupcake connoisseur. Is
Yes.
it like, cake pops categorized into the cupcake place? Like, do you, or is it just only, hey, the cupcake got to come out the little sleeve and it has to be an official cupcake,
It has to be
not a
an
cake
official
pop,
cupcake.
not a, oh, okay.
No,
okay.
cake
Not
pops have a completely different, like, texture.
texture, okay.
Yeah. And I will say I'm very well versed in cake in general as well. But cupcakes, where my heart is, it's just like.
Which brings me to my next question.
Yes.
I've been around you just a little bit enough to know I believe you probably are a really good chef.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about that. What's your favorite thing? You like to bake? You like to, where we got?
I like to cook. Like, I think dinner. I like dinners.
I would have guessed breakfast.
I do love a good breakfast, but lately I've been simplifying my breakfast, eating like Greek breakfast, which is just like tomatoes and cucumbers stuff, fruit plates.
You cook for
small
others?
plates.
I
Tomatoes.
know you're a
and
vegetarian.
cucumbers.
Can you cook meat? Will you have fish? Anything?
No.
Won't do it.
No, I mean I used to be really good at, like, I can cook chicken because I used to eat meat, but I just haven't in so long. I wouldn't even do that to somebody. I would be like, if you want to eat meat, you make your meat. I'll make everything else.
Got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
A Greek breakfast is a far cry from being a cupcake aficionado.
Yes.
And being a cupcake aficionado is a far cry away from that dang on coconut that you brought to the set right here. So clearly that you are very well versed.
Thank you.
In
Thank
a
you.
lot of different things. You talked about I like it too. You talked about, and I just want to circle back to this, your passion being impacting youth. I know this to be true. You maybe don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. I sometimes email people back and sometimes I don't, but I always read, right?
Yeah.
So you sent me an email about a description of a program
Yes.
that you wanted to implement in the inner city schools into Chicago. And I thought it was really well thought of and in depth. Our timing was,
Off.
oh yeah. However, I kind of got insight into, your thoughts. How long have you been passionate about youth? And for you, is it like because it doesn't seem to be a coach-athlete thing. It's more of a person-to-person thing.
Yep.
Clearly. So do you have more interest in developing young people outside of sports, or would you also be interested, because you're not only trying to limit your impact to the impact, on the track, which is great. So I feel like the question is, do you have a greater interest outside of sports?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Because of my athletic background and the platform that I have, of course I do use sport on occasion, because that's what people know me for and that's what's going to draw the people in. But my interest is more so developing the minds and the mental health and the mental, emotional, and spiritual growth and connection within not only the youth, but the community in general.
Well, Wallace from Chicago too, low key.
Born in
Low-key?
Chicago, South Side.
I didn't know that.
Cubs fan.
He banged Arkansas so hard you would never know.
Right? No
You know what I'm
idea.
saying? You never know.
My whole family's from Chicago, but
Okay, well,
So
you don't rep it enough, so now that, like,
I can't. I
So
would be
and now
centric.
you can put
Okay.
pressure on him to be poised to, exactly.
Yes.
My dad went
be
to.
involved.
If I knew it, look, I can fix the majority of the
But
problems I
you
know about.
did know.
I did.
Yes, sir.
Well, remind me then. How about say I apologize?
Okay, so my nonprofit, I talked to you guys. It's called the Live Happy Project.
Oh, Now
Live
I
happy.
remember. Damn,
Yeah.
she's got me.
Yeah. Now you remember.
That's all I needed to
Read that
hear.
email.
You got
You know
me.
what I'm saying?
I love how Eric politely threw me under the bus.
I wasn't. I was trying to leave you out of it. I was trying to just throw you to Chicago.
He wasn't trying,
Right, and then that was it.
And that was it. But you,
This
you
isn't
was
the-
like, yeah, my dad. You got to go on the limit. My
This
dad
isn't a high
was
jump. You don't try. You don't look. You don't try and then fail.
man.
Eric doesn't fail much. So if he was trying, it wouldn't have happened. So it's okay. He knew what he was doing.
I was
wouldn't
just trying to. I wanted her to
It's all
say
good
the
though. It's
stuff,
all
but
good. It's
no,
all
no,
good.
no.
Hey,
So, Live
challenge
Happy.
accepted. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Live Happy Foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Live Happy Project uses travel, mental wellness, and movement to help expand the minds and the vision of underserved BIPOC youth. Yes. And so we have land out here actually in the Dominican Republic, and we're going to be building a holistic retreat center out there in a year or so. And we want to bring the kids out and give them a whole different environment. Yeah. We actually did our first domestic retreat like 3 weeks ago.
Where'd you go?
We went to Neshkoro, Wisconsin.
Okay, that was different.
Yeah, it was.
Culture shock for that group, I'm sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
but they loved it.
Oh, that's dope.
They really
That's
loved
dope.
it.
So obviously, for us here,
Mm-hmm.
we know the impact of being, removed from an environment early and being able to see the world and how that expands,
Mm-hmm.
not only, a person's belief system, but also just like their motivation for life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you clearly see the importance of that. Is that what motivated, and kind of steered the direction of like, hey, you guys, you can get off of Michigan Ave, so to speak,
Yep,
and get out
yep.
into the world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, just like growing up and seeing that there weren't a whole lot of opportunities. One, for young Black kids to just be kids, to play, to have green spaces in a safe space, and then two, to travel and to see the world and to understand their place in it. Like sometimes we get so caught up in just our block or whatever's going on in our life, and we that's our life. That's what it's going to look like for the next however long I'm alive. And that doesn't have to be the case. It's not the case.
Did you have opportunities like that as a child? Or you didn't, and that's why you're actually doing this?
I did, because I have a split family. I was traveling to South Carolina every summer, so that kind of gave me a little bit of perspective of travel. And then, going away to college and stuff. But once I was in college, I got the opportunity to go to South Africa. And that was when I was like, I'm flying over the ocean. This is crazy.
Well, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I meant to ask you this as well. I'm about to say I'm infatuated with languages. So, do you
Same.
speak any?
Neligo.
Okay. All right.
I speak a little Greek.
I'm either about to embarrass myself. Keep going. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A little Greek. French is the one I know best.
Parlez-vous français?
Yes.
Tu parles espagnol?
No.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
No.
No German, no French?
No, yes, French.
Okay, my fault.
But no Spanish.
Spanish.
No Spanish.
Any-
And I'm learning Haitian Creole.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm either about to embarrass myself or
Go.
look really cool.
Okay.
If I esto, para calor,
Yes.
it's okay?
Yeah.
All right.
That was good.
I have
He said,
traveled
thank
to...
you, please.
Yasas.
Yasas. That was pretty good.
All right, that's all I got. Oh, talk about the pelicas.
What about a pelican?
See?
Tomato pelicas.
Toma the pelicas.
Nope.
See?
Didn't catch that
I
one.
should have stopped when I
You
was
should have
ahead.
stopped. You had really
It
good
was
ones.
Good. It was just like earlier. I just threw him the line. He wasn't taking her.
Like, I'm going for the
I'm
full
going
dive.
for the
Trying to
full
create
dive.
patterns and
I
stuff.
said, bro, I didn't drag you in there.
You did that one.
Yeah, whatever.
But he is low key, trilingual. He,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he
I
spends.
like
a
to
lot
learn the
of-
language whenever we
Yeah.
go places. I figure exactly the same
Languages
way.
are just so beautiful, and they work your mind in a very unique way. Like you get to kind of be a child again. And that's what I really liked about learning Greek, because I'm just like sitting here reading, and it's just like the apple is red, and I'm like, I did it.
Duolingo? Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
What's your streak on? What's your longest streak?
My longest streak is 265.
Dang. Mm-hmm. Mine's like 90-something, and I think I fell asleep one time, and it was over with.
Mine's done, and I got depressed for a little bit. I was like, I'm not going back.
Right. All right. All
Well,
right.
listen, I do not spend any time on Duolingo. I will leave that to
It's
you.
fun.
Culture.
Culture. I can get
Uncultured
around in a few
slut.
languages now. I know how to make it home safe.
Donde
Okay.
está el baño?
Hey, I know how to get back to the room. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Where's the bathroom?
That's what you
Exactly.
need.
Toilet that. No, but
¿Entiendes? Ah, bien. Bien.
But no, Tori, we definitely appreciate you stopping by. We appreciate your presence not only on the runway, but just, your aura. You always, are a blessing to be around. And also, Wallace is going to be in contact about the
Indeed.
Live Happy project.
I'm just going to say this before we leave. I can't wait until we get a little bit further in our day with our agenda and I see part 2 of this butt whooping spree that's been happening.
I'm ready.
We might have to clip some of that into this podcast so people can see. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
And it'll be better. I've been dialed in.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
She is a savage when it comes to competition. I love it.
No, listen,
love it.
You won't see any more volleyball out of me, but thank you for joining us.
Thank you all for having
another
me.
episode, Tori. We appreciate you and continued success on the development of you and continued success on your helping develop others, young Illinois boys and girls.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for another episode.